Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Heartwarming moments are common in WWE, and recently, Natalya reacted to a special one. While not on a company program or social media platform, the moment featured a Hall of Famer and a legend. The Hall of Famer in question is Diamond Dallas Page, and the legend is Lex Luger. DDP has been helping Luger improve his health and stay active through his DDP yoga program, with the goal of helping him regain mobility. For context, Lex Luger suffered a spinal stroke in 2007 that left him paralyzed, and he has faced challenges ever since. At first, he had no function in either his arms or legs, but fortunately, things have improved. However, since 2021, he has relied on a wheelchair for mobility thanks to some help from Dallas Page. Things have been improving, and in a recent video shared on YouTube, the progress was evident. Luger can now get up by himself, albeit with some support from a walker. Nevertheless, it was heartwarming to witness, and Natalya reacted to it on X. The 42-year-old responded to a tweet from Sting talking about the same video, and she praised DDP for how much he cares about others, and applauded him for giving back to the wrestling community. Check out the tweet below. While DDP is helping legends with their fitness journeys, Natalya is also making her mark on the pro wrestling industry. Currently, the 42-year-old is training the late great Brody Lee's sons. Brody and Nolan, the former Divas champion, recently shared an update on X. She shared a picture of herself alongside her husband, TJ Wilson, popularly known as Tyson Kidd, at their wrestling school, the Dungeon 2.0. The photo showcased a group of aspiring wrestlers, including Brody Jr. and Nolan. She then responded with an update, revealing that Brody is a student of the game, learning faster than anyone, while Nolan has been entertaining everyone with his promos. It's great to see Brody Jr. and Nolan following in their legendary father's footsteps. Hopefully, fans will get to see them wrestle in a WWE ring in the future. It was a crisp evening at the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony. The atmosphere inside the arena was electric, with the buzz of excited fans filling the air as legends of the wrestling world gathered to celebrate the greatest of the great. Among them was a legendary figure whose presence had long been etched into the annals of WWE history. Natalya, the daughter of the late Jim the Anvil Neidhart, was no stranger to the Hall of Fame atmosphere, having grown up surrounded by the incredible names that had shaped WWE's legacy. Yet this particular moment was different. It was a moment that would stay with her forever, one that left an imprint on her heart in a way few things in the wrestling world could. Natalya stood backstage, waiting for her cue to head to the stage for her part in the night's festivities. As the camera crew adjusted the lighting and sound, she overheard voices, a familiar sound that immediately caught her attention. She turned to see two towering figures engaged in conversation, their words heavy with respect, admiration, and shared history. One of them was a WWE Hall of Famer, a man whose name had echoed through the halls of every arena for decades. The other was a legend, an icon of the squared circle, a man whose mere presence commanded respect. The Hall of Famer was none other than Stone Cold Steve Austin, and the legend standing beside him was none other than Bret the Hitman Hart. Natalya's heart skipped a beat. The two men had a long and storied history, with moments of tension, rivalry, and respect woven through their careers. Austin and Bret had clashed in legendary matches, their encounters shaping the fabric of WWE's most memorable chapters. But this moment, as they shared stories backstage before the ceremony, was something entirely different. Natalya couldn't help but be drawn to their exchange between the two men. She had always known about their incredible in-ring battles, the animosity that had brewed between them during the famed Montreal Screwjob incident. She had heard the stories from her father, the late Jim Neidhart, and others who had been in the thick of those times. But what struck her now as she watched them interact was the genuine respect that had blossomed between them over the years. Austin, ever the tough, no-nonsense personality, had a smile on his face as he looked at Bret, who, in turn, seemed to be listening intently, his usual stoic demeanor softened by a rare warmth. There was a sense of understanding between them, as if all the years of rivalry, tension, and differences had given way to something more meaningful. It was a realization that perhaps time and maturity had allowed them both to see the bigger picture of their careers and the impact they had made on the industry. Natalya found herself lost in the moment, taking it all in. She had grown up in the shadow of legends like these, witnessing firsthand the incredible bond that tied the wrestlers of her family's era together. She knew the sacrifices, the hard work, and the passion that each of them had poured into the business. But seeing Brett and Austin interact in such a raw, honest way was something she hadn't fully understood, until now she recalled the countless stories her father had told her about his own experiences in WWE, working alongside Hall of Famers like Brett and Austin. Jim Neidhart had always spoken fondly of Brett, despite the ups and downs they had faced together as part of the Hart Foundation. Their bond, forged in the fire of the wrestling business, had been unbreakable, and it was clear that Brett's influence had helped shape Jim as much as it had shaped the wrestling industry. As she stood there, Natalya felt an overwhelming sense of pride. Pride in her family's legacy, pride in the bond that had been built between the men who had made WWE what it was, and pride in the realization that she was a part of that legacy. Her thoughts were interrupted when she saw Austin and Brett approach her. The two men walked toward her, their faces lighting up with genuine smiles. Austin, always the larger-than-life figure, offered his hand first. "Hey kid," he said with his signature Texas drawl, his voice full of affection. "You doing all right?" Natalya smiled warmly and shook his hand. "I'm doing great, Steve. Thanks for asking." Brett, standing beside Austin, gave her a nod, his calm demeanor ever present. "It's good to see you, Nat," he said, his voice soft but sincere. "You know, your family meant a lot to me. Your dad was one of the toughest sons of best I ever met." Natalya's heart swelled at the words. Hearing Brett speak about her father with such respect was something she had never taken for granted. She had always known that Jim Neidhart was an integral part of WWE's success, but hearing it from someone like Brett made it all the more real. "I know he thought the world of you," Natalya said, her voice thick with emotion. "You two were a team in the truest sense. The Hart Foundation meant so much to so many people." Brett smiled softly. "We were more than just a tag team. We were a family, and your dad was a big part of that." Austin, ever the blunt one, added with a chuckle, "Hell, your old man was one of the toughest guys in the locker room. He had a presence, no doubt about it." Natalya laughed, feeling a warm sense of nostalgia wash over her. "He sure did," she agreed. "He had a way of making sure everyone knew he was around." As the three of them shared stories, Natalya felt a sense of gratitude wash over her. She had heard so many stories of the days gone by, the moments that had shaped the wrestling world, but hearing these two legends reminisce about her father in such a genuine way made her realize just how deeply his impact had resonated with them in that moment. She could see the truth in Brett's words. Wrestling wasn't just about matches or championships. It was about the connections made, the bonds forged in the heat of competition, and the respect earned through years of sacrifice. The heartwarming exchange between Austin and Brett showed her that, despite the years of rivalry and personal struggles, there was a foundation of respect that transcended it all. It was a respect that could only come from being in the trenches together, from sharing the highs and lows of a career that demanded everything. As they continued to talk, Austin and Brett shared a laugh over a story from their past, one that had the whole group in stitches. The laughter was contagious, and even Natalya couldn't help but join in. It was a reminder that, despite the seriousness of the business, there was always room for camaraderie and joy. It was moments like these that made her appreciate the wrestling world in ways she hadn't fully realized before. Eventually, the conversation shifted, and Natalya found herself reminiscing about her own career. Austin and Brett were quick to offer words of encouragement and support, their experiences lending weight to their advice. "You're doing great, Nat," Austin said, clapping her on the back. "Keep pushing forward. You're carrying the torch now, and you're doing it with style." Brett nodded in agreement. "You've got the heart and the talent. Just keep doing what you do best." Their words of encouragement meant the world to her. As the daughter of two WWE legends, her father and her aunt, the legendary Brett's sister, WWE Hall of Famer, and the Queen of Hearts, the First Lady of WWE, Natalya had always felt the weight of her family's legacy on her shoulders. But hearing it from two of the most respected figures in WWE history helped reaffirm her belief in herself in that moment. As the Hall of Fame ceremony loomed just ahead, Natalya realized that wrestling was more than just a sport or a profession. It was a family. A family bound together by respect, sacrifice, and shared memories. It was a family where the past and present collided, creating moments like this one, heartwarming, humbling, and unforgettable. As the evening unfolded and the ceremony began, Natalya felt a renewed sense of purpose. She was part of something much larger than herself, and the legends who had come before her had paved the way for her to continue the story. The heartwarming exchange between Austin and Brett had reminded her of the true meaning of legacy, the people, the bonds, and the respect that would last long after the spotlight faded. And as the night drew to a close, with fans chanting and legends being celebrated, Natalya stood proud, knowing that she was carrying the torch forward. Just as her father and Brett had, she too would leave her mark on the wrestling world, one built on respect, family, and the unforgettable moments that would continue to shape the future of WWE for years to come. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.